to the bold analysis. Thank you very much for your support to this channel. I want us to face a very sober discussion, to have a very sober discussion in this podcast. And in politics, there is normally that which you see and what the politicians want you to see, which is normally different from the real intentions why things are happening. It is, I think, nearly now 5 days since we saw attack in Uhuru Kenyatta's farm. And we've done a lot of analysis and have checked different analysts. We are all boxed into one reasoning that, and very straight talk, that the Northland's attack was directly linked with the mass action. That, remember, before it, a narrative was formed that Uhuru Kenyatta is funding Azimio la Umoja, and so he should exit politics, then or else we'll have to undergo the kind of troubles that has been going through. Adam Dolly today was in Spice FM and I listened to his words saying that Uhuru sent emissaries so that his family can be left alone by the government of the day. Since Kenya Kwanza administration settled in office last September, I think if you can realize that the opposition team, Raila Odinga and the team, was still struggling to regroup, but they kept a low profile up until December, when the state started the process of kicking out the Cherera 4 from office. Then from the Cherera 4 is where we saw a bit of political activism by the Azimio wing, pushing for fairness in the process, or rather opposing the process of kicking out the kicking out IBC, the IBC commissioners, the breakaway IBC commissioners. But throughout, you need to see that the attacks on Uhuru Kenyatta did not start with Maandamano. No. From day one, in the swearing in at Dias, he was already a target, that we left a dilapidated economy. And for the first 4 months, and I think to date, the narrative that was carried was that government is broke because Uhuru Kenyatta carried and went away with the money. That narrative was carried. But looking at the recent developments, it seems to be, it has left Wanjiku wondering what to believe. And that's why I'm telling you. The government wants you to believe that they're broke. But looking at the way government is being run, the two offices exhausting their budgets, the two most powerful offices exhausting their budget, appointment of the 50 CS has really been criticized as ballooning the wage bill. And the way we've spent a lot to organize political rallies that we call interdenominational prayers in counties. And I remember us raising eyebrows on this. So what I'm saying here is this. I am becoming a bit persuaded that Uhuru is financing Maandamano narrative is a smoke screen just to cover his attack. Uhuru Kenyatta attackers could be hiding behind Azimio la Umoja. I don't know what's your thoughts. And I want to tell you why I am making that observation. Those who want Uhuru Kenyatta could be hiding behind Azimio la Umoja. This is it. So the question of financing, now in that mass action, what is being financed? Is it fueling cars? Do you think Raila Odinga, I think that Azimio team also have privileges of their cars being fueled by government. But even apart from that, from the ODM Orange Party, they can get funds. Even their own person, like for the MPs, they have privileges. They can fuel their cars. So what is being funded? Is it that Raila is being given personal fortunes, like money, for him to conduct this? Or what exactly is it? Now, you will critically see that the narrative of Uhuru is funding Azimio is flat. If that will be it, then do you believe what would be the intention of Uhuru Kenyatta? What if Raila is to get a handshake, as the state is saying, and the government is saying, that is what he's pushing for? How would Uhuru Kenyatta benefit from a Raila Ruto handshake? These questions point out clearly to a narrow mind that there is a deeper hand behind Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta attacks. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell as we delve deep into keeping the Maandamano question as a smokescreen and going behind the curtain to unravel what exactly is the motive behind Uhuru Kenyatta revenge attacks. I need to say thank you very much for those who helped release of one of protesters that was arrested yesterday, who I had intimated to a few of my friends who are members of this channel. Yes, let me just get Clarion, Asante Sana, I got to a wave. Yeah, and also got Nyamaka, yes, and Becky, Becky. Thank you for your support. For those who support us, we want to pin the number there for your support, and we'll be grateful to support our podcasts. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a personal vendetta against Uhuru Kenyatta, and this is being carried out, according to me, by people who carry bitterness, personal bitterness. Uhuru Kenyatta was a president for 10 years, and there are those who suffered under him because hawezi furahisha kila mtu, of course. So maybe there are those who believe that as a president, Uhuru affected their business, Uhuru sacked them. As a president, because if you ask me, if you try to interrogate further, you'll find out. To someone like Kimani Ichung'wah, can you do your research? What did Uhuru Kenyatta do wrong to him? What did Uhuru Kenyatta do wrong to him? Is it losing parliamentary packs? Someone like Duale probably makes sense. Would make sense. He was a majority leader in the National Assembly. He was stripped off that position. So you look at someone like Ndindi Nyoro. What did Uhuru do to them? If there was attempted arrest, was he arrested? You'll ask a question, are there businesses that Uhuru destroyed? So, in real sense, those who are going after Uhuru Kenyatta are personally sorting, looking for the son of Ngina. But the Maandamano is a pretense so that they would hide behind it. Let me give you a good example. After Northern City attack, there was condemnation of that from both sides of the political divide, while the media came up with a report and linked some leaders from the mountain because of their prior statements. So when Rigathi Gachagua and some of the leaders came to react to the linking of Uhuru's attack to some of those leaders in Mount Kenya, they changed it and said they did not take responsibility that it is Maandamano. They actually said that Uhuru's property, even if it is touched, ni kidogo, while the others have always been touched. They also said that some are targeting those leaders to quell their influence. So what does it tell you? It's a situation where the Maandamano question, it is being said that he sponsors. But even after that attack, no one is then coming out to say, we will continue attacking this, you will continue experiencing that because of that Maandamano. I am convinced, and I can tell you, even if the mass action is to end today, there will still be another window or another opportunity that will be crafted to continue attacks on former President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the reason it is Uhuru, you are seeing that the Mama Ngina, the Kenyatta family is responding, and the person talking is actually Mama Ngina. Uhuru has opted not to. Because there are also those who will just want to use that opportunity to be seen as, I want to fight the king. Second reason, and I want to look at it. I think there is a cultic, some people are crafting a cultic wave for Gema towards general election by creating some level of occultic hate on Uhuru Kenyatta to create the hustler narrative. In Mount Kenya, I was just talking to a friend today in the morning, a friend who came to visit me. And he was telling me he was in the car, he was in the matatu when that thing happened. Now, then they were having just a peer talk with the driver. And the driver was telling him that ata yeye, if he was angejua there was something going on, ange make sure ameenda that route and would have taken a share of it. So I asked, I was a bit interested, like, why is he saying that? He said, because it is Kenyatta family. Now, that is a driver in Nairobi. And I listened to that, I was like, wow, that's it. So that tells you the impression. The impression is to create a situation where the Kenyatta is, that name Kenyatta family is something that mtu akisikia, and I feel like that's what has, this is it. Interestingly. And let me say this, Pole. If there is a region that will not benefit from Ruto's government, even in this first term, that region is Mount Kenya. Why? They have been given jobs. They are members of the company. They've been told the government is theirs. They are members of, they're shareholders of the company. And of course, they've been fooled. The masses there, the young people there have been fooled to take ownership of Kenya Kwanza administration, and that has created a firewall. They can't ask questions. Take it from me. Ruto is blindly giving them everything they want, everything Rigathi is saying. Every name Rigathi is forwarding to suit his ego. And before they know, they're not going to ask for development. It's not going to be on it. And again, they will not have audacity to go back and tell the people that Ruto has not developed the region. Because, if anything, wakona kazi, which was the intention. Secondly, the company is theirs. So you can't say that the company has failed. So what they have decided here is they want to create a situation where the next wave is against to tell the region that Uhuru Kenyatta is the problem. The region is not developed because of Uhuru Kenyatta. To Mount Kenya, I think the voters there, you will be very myopic if you still be in 2027 believe that the region has not achieved its potential because of Uhuru Kenyatta. But sadly, that's what you are being told. Now, this could also be, I am seeing a very long shot hidden in Maandamano question, just introduce the land politics. The land politics is very emotive, not just in the mountain, but in this country. The land question is very emotive. Look at what's happening in Kisii. Where mtoto anatolewa macho into something bearing a land question. The land question has been a perennial problem in the coast. You listened to leaders saying that tutaanza na hiyo ya Ruiru, alafu ndio tuende Taita Taveta, alafu sijui tuende wapi. There is a question of the large ownership of land. And of course, you may not question how, but it's true that one of the largest land shareholder in this country is Kenyatta family. Now, that's what these people want. And on this one, I cannot even exempt William Ruto. Before this, it will culminate in an amendment in parliament touching on land ownership. And you've seen that coming. So this could be an inside game to spur the emotions, to create the discussions, then provide a ground that look here, kila mtu lazima own shamba. Look at the way people are blindfolded to be told go tunaenda kugawia shamba. There's a mock subdivision of the land. And that was to create that perception that, Kenyatta has family as this and it's about it. Lastly, if there is something that William Ruto wants is to push Uhuru Kenyatta out of the Kenyan politics even in 2027. William Ruto would not want a situation of Uhuru Ruto contest in 2027. So all this push, and you can see, Uhuru was supposed to retire. After 6 months, according to law, he's not supposed to be in active politics. Now, I've even seen Wetangula saying that Uhuru needs to exit politics as it is. The reason why people don't want Uhuru Kenyatta is because Uhuru Kenyatta has the potential of bankrolling a campaign in this country. Now, Ruto is in the state, Ruto is the president, and he has the machinery to clip any other financial support that the opposition can get to push the re-election. Let it not be lost to you. William Ruto lost against Raila Odinga with the 200,000 votes. Do you know that even if Raila can abortively sweep Nairobi and neutralize central Kenya, you throw William Ruto back to the drawing board? So there is something that people don't want. It's nothing to do with Maandamano. I am persuaded. It's nothing to do with Uhuru financing what? The people talking about financing do not have an evidence. Serikali iko and UDA have very competent bloggers. I can tell you, they would have even intercepted a bank payment or any sort of transaction or any proof that Raila Odinga is getting support from Uhuru Kenyatta. But the whole of that has remained hot air talk simply because I am persuaded it's not about the mass action. And even if there will be a ceasefire today, tomorrow, the same Mount Kenya leaders will still go around looking for Uhuru's head. That's my bold analysis.